Hey guys, this is Jagati and we're back with a video on GRE. So GRE is a standardized test that's needed to be taken by those who are preparing for admission in English-speaking countries, especially the US and Canada. So GRE scores are accepted in many graduate programs for master's and doctoral degrees. And the test is conducted by the Education Testing Council, that's the ETS, throughout the year. And one can choose any test date listed according to their suitability. Now, the GRE general test is of two types. The first, the computer-based test, and many people prefer the online computer-based test. It's a 3-hour, 45-minute long test which consists of 6 sections. The first, the analytical writing section. Second, the verbal reasoning part 1. Third, the verbal reasoning part 2. Fourth, quantitative reasoning part 1. Fifth, quantitative reasoning part 2. And lastly, the experimental or the research section. These 6 sections can occur in any order, and the last one is less significant in the calculation of the final score, but it is not distinguished from the scored section. So the test format allows the examined person to move back and forth on any question within that section and can mark questions for later review on each section. A 1-minute break after each section is given and a 10-minute break after the third section is given for relaxation. Now, the second type is a paper-based test, and in this test, the analytical section is split into 2 sections, one for the issue and other for the argument task. And the next 4 sections consist of 2 verbal and quantitative sections in varying order. There is no experimental or research section in the paper-based mode of examination, and this mode is only available where the computer-based test is not possible. Next, we have the test format. So the first section that we have is a verbal section, and it consists of a reading comprehension, critical reading and a vocabulary usage section. It is evaluated on a scale of 130 to 170 with a 1-point increment. And this section is awarded with a time limit of 30 minutes each. That's a total of 60 minutes. And each section consists of 6 text completion, 4 sentence equivalents, and 10 critical reading questions. Now, the next section that we have is a quantitative section, and it tests your basic high school level mathematics and reasoning skills, evaluated on a scale of 130 to 170 with a 1-point increment. And each section consists of 20 questions with a time limit of 35 minutes for each. And each quantitative section consists of 8 quantitative comparison, 9 problem-solving items, and 3 DI questions. The next section that we have is the analytical writing section, and it consists of 2 different essays, an issue task and an argument task. Now, the issue task taker is given 30 minutes to write an essay on a given topic which is selected from a pooled task. One can access the pool of tasks on the ETS website. In the argument task, the test taker will be given a series of facts and considerations leading to a conclusion and then be asked to solve the argument. Now, the test taker are asked to consider the argument's logic and to make suggestions on how to improve the logic of the argument. The test takers are also expected to address the logical flaws of the argument and not provide a personal opinion on the subject. Now, the time allowed for this essay is 30 minutes, and one can access the pool of tasks from the ETS website. Now, the fourth section that we have is the experimental section, and it can be either verbal or quantitative. Now, the experimental section does not count towards the test taker's score. However, it is unidentified and it appears identical to the scored sections. Next, we have the GRE Subject Test, and these check the achievements in specific subject areas and assume undergraduate majors or extensive backgrounds in those disciplines. These tests are available in different disciplines like biology, chemistry, literature and English, mathematics, physics, and psychology. And the GRE Subject Tests are paper-delivered tests administered worldwide up to 3 times a year in September, October, and April, and the testing time is 2 hours and 50 minutes. Next, we have the registration process. So the first step is to visit the ETS official site that we've mentioned right here. Second, you need to create your account. Third, select your country. Fourth, register at least 2 calendar dates before your preferred test date. And fifth, if you're registering with a phone, then call your regional registration center. Now for detailed information on registration and cancellation policy, please visit the site that we mentioned in the description below. Now we're going to answer some frequently asked questions for GRE. So the first question that we have is, am I eligible for GRE? So anyone who's passed his graduation and has a valid identity proof is eligible for GRE. Now the second question is, how many times can I appear for GRE in a year? So you can appear for as much as 5 times in a year with a 21 days of gap between the 2 dates, and there is no age limit for appearing in GRE. Now the third question is, which countries are accepting the GRE score? So almost all countries have started accepting the GRE score as a standard result. However, most of the universities from the English-speaking countries need the TOEFL or the IELTS score. Next question is, what is the marking criteria for GRE? So for the analytical part, there's a 2 scale of marking that goes from row to row. One score is from a professionally trained reader who scores on a scale of 0 to 6, and the second evaluation is through an ETS program. Now for the verbal and the quantitative part, the correct answer is marked and there is no penalty for the wrong answer. ETS evaluates your raw score and the raw score is then converted to a scale score using a conversion formula that takes the difficulty of each question into account. And then the converted one is your final score for that section. The next question that we have is, what is the examination fee for GRE? So the registration fee for GRE is $205 and if you want to change your test center, then it will cost you another $50. Now the last and final question is GRE necessary if I'm preparing to study in Canada or the US? So for this, you have to visit the university's official website and then only will you come to know whether GRE score is necessary or not. But for any detailed information, please visit the ETS official site. Now in the further videos, we'll be discussing in detail about the verbal and the quant sections. So do stay tuned and subscribe to our channel for more such videos. Thank you.